Hello and welcome everyone to the American Patient Pipeline Masterclass series. I'm Keki, one of the founders and administrators at MedExplore, one of the world's leading platforms for medical tourism business education. We've helped hundreds of providers across continents build successful patient pipelines and deliver world-class care. Now, before we dive in, I want to thank all of you guys who have taken our flagship course, Medical Tourism, the Blueprint for Success. Your feedback, your stories, and yes, your emails have been incredible. In fact, this new series was created by popular demand directly from your requests. So, again, welcome to those of you guys who are watching us live via Facebook, YouTube, and on the webinar platform. And for those of you guys who are going to be watching this for the replay over on YouTube and Facebook, please feel free to leave any comments or questions. You can see our contact information over on the channel profile and also on our profile for Facebook. So feel free to reach out to us. Now, before we go any further, let's get a quick roll call because I see some of you guys are already active in the chat. Now, Sam is going to be moderating for us, and Alex is available as well. I see Dr. Patel from India, Maria from Honduras. Hey, Ahmed from Egypt. Amazing. Oh, and Mohammed from Germany. Our community is truly global, isn't it? Now, a special shout out to Maria because we've got a virtual tour scheduled right after we are done with this webinar. Can't wait to see the improvements that you have made in your facility. Now, for those of you guys who want to partner with Med Explorers, please feel free to reach out to Sam or Alex or even shoot us an email because we have so many services available to help you and your facility. All right. Are we all set, Sam? I see the chat is lighting up. Hey, we've got people from South Africa, Turkey, and even Canada joining in. Thanks for the heads up, Sam. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Why target the American market? Billions spent by Americans on medical tourism annually. Now let's talk strategy. Why focus on the American patient? As some of you know, the U.S. medical tourism market is worth billions. Americans are actively seeking providers abroad for quality and value. But what really sets them apart is their high expectations for safety, trust, and transparency. Say those three words with me: safety, trust, transparency. Now, just this week, we received a few emails from some past students who started getting inquiries from the U.S. after implementing our blueprint strategies. One of the biggest questions that we get is, how do I build trust and stand out to Americans? So that's something we're going to cover today because, as you may know, from the budget conscious patient to your high end all inclusive patient, there's really no difference with these three factors. They all want safety, trust, and transparency. All right. Now, I already see Sam has let me know that he's seeing similar questions in the chat. Lots of interest in what Americans value most. Okay, perfect. Guys, keep those questions coming. At the end, we've got a Q&A section where we will be able to answer your questions. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is going to be a brief webinar today because this is going to be a part of a series. We're going to try to do this on a weekly basis to answer lots of questions and provide more information. Okay, top three things American patients want. Now, from our research and feedback and direct conversations with U.S. patients, three things consistently rise to the top. First, trust and safety. Americans want to see your certifications and accreditations front and center. Now, that goes for American patients abroad as well as American patients here in the US. Now, when an American patient walks into a doctor's office, a clinic, a treatment center, spa, wherever certifications are listed, they can see who is qualified to perform the task that they have come to pay for. Second, clear communication. Americans expect prompt replies and English speaking staff. Third, real patient stories. Social proof is everything. Americans want to see reviews. They want to see other Americans' reviews as well. We're going to dive into this more in this webinar and the subsequent webinars that we have coming up as well. Now, I remember an email from Dr. Lee, a Blueprint graduate, who said, once I started showcasing my ISO and JCI certifications on my homepage, his website, American inquiries doubled. That's the power of trust. We cannot stress this enough. Whatever jurisdiction you're in, whatever governing body is in charge of certification, make sure that that is listed on your website. Americans want to see such certification. Here in America, we're constantly telling people to Google something, constantly searching Google for reviews as well as certifications. So that's important that you list that. Okay, I see Dr. Lee has a question. What certifications are best to highlight? Great question, Dr. Lee. Alex, can you pull up a list of top international certifications that resonate with U.S. patients? Now, here in the U.S., we have our own governing bodies, and internationally, I know that there are some governing bodies or ministries that are in place. And Alex is going to pull up that list and post it in the chat. And that's something that you can find more information on the website as well as the Udemy course. We talk about that in both courses. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue, and we will talk more about this as this webinar progresses. Oh, okay, I see Alex has already posted this. The most recognized are JCI, ISO, and your local Ministry of Health approvals. And Alex says he's going to post a summary for everyone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue because we want these webinars to be less than 30 minutes. We want them to be around 20, no more than 25 minutes, so that way they are digestible. Okay, moving on. Certifications and trust signals. Display certifications clearly. Thanks, Alex, once again. Now, to everyone here, make sure certifications are impossible to miss. Your website needs to have these certifications listed. Your banners on your website, your social media profiles, your patient guides. Americans look for these signals immediately. As soon as they go on your website, they want to see some type of certification. They want to see some type of governing body or joint commission that is regularly monitoring your facility. This is very important. Okay, Maria just left a comment, and I see Sam, you have highlighted. We have wonderful reviews, but they're not in English. Okay, that is important that your reviews are in English. Now, there are different websites that will translate to English. If the person who's on your website will just click translate to English. But it's important that you provide that option that these reviews can be translated because most Americans speak only English. They are taught Spanish, an entry level amount of Spanish, but probably not to the level where they can fluently read any review. Um, yeah, because English is the predominant language that we speak here in the United States, so that it is important that you have your reviews in English. And like I mentioned before, they can easily be translated. A simple translation goes a long way. You have to remember, Americans connect with testimonials they can read, especially if the testimonials or reviews are from other Americans. Okay, let's move forward. Website and first impressions. Now, your website is your digital front door. You need to make sure that you have visible certifications. We keep talking about those certifications, English testimonials, clear contact information, and fast response promise. You need to make sure that you are responding quickly. Your website needs to be inviting, clear, and trustworthy. I've seen clinics lose American leads simply because their certifications or contact information is buried on the website. Yes, it's nice to see beautiful artistry. It's nice to see the resort for aftercare centers. It's nice to see how clean and pristine your facility is and who your doctors are. But it's also important that when the American patient goes onto your website, the first thing they see is visible certifications, testimonials in English, clear contact information, and to make sure that you are going to respond to them quickly, especially with the time zone difference. Those of you who are quite a distance in a different hemisphere from us over here, some of the facilities in Mexico and Canada, the time zones may be the same. But for those of you who are in the Eastern Hemisphere, your time zones are going to be different. So you may have an American patient who may be on your website at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, our time, but in your time it may be midnight. So they want to leave, fill out a contact form or leave some type of contact information and want a response. It would be great if you have a chat bot that has some type of automated response, canned responses. So simple questions that they may ask, such as, do you perform procedures on the weekend? You need to have some system in place that can give them an immediate response to that question, or to let them know that someone will respond to them within 24 hours. This is very important. Now let's do a quick checklist. Alex, can you share our website Trust Signals checklist? Provide the link, please, to the folks in the chat, those of you guys who are watching live, and then also on YouTube. We'll make sure that that is pasted. The link is pasted there for you to click on that. Okay. Okay, so Alex said he's highlighting those things on the checklist. Certifications up top, that's on your website. English testimonials, click to call, or WhatsApp. So those are two widgets that you can install onto your website. WhatsApp, we're familiar with that, and click to call. If you have that technology available and an English language speaker who can answer the phone call, that if someone decides that they want to call and ask questions, then that would be great to have. Make sure you have a 24-hour response guarantee. Okay, let's move forward. Patient experience matters. Personalized care every step of the way. Americans want more than a procedure. They want a journey. Visual consults, pre-arrival checklists, airport pickups, follow-up care. Our MedExplore partners around the world have seen that concierge touch makes all the difference. Americans want to feel catered to from start to finish. From when they first fill out the contact form, they want a response quickly. So from start to finish, Americans want to feel as though they are the only patient that you have, albeit the budget patient or the high end patient, they all want to feel catered to. Okay, Dr. Patel has left a message. Do American patients care more about price or experience? From what I've seen, experience often wins. Americans will pay more if they just trust you and feel cared for. Good point. American patients want to be catered to. And Dr. Patel, we know that you have years of experience with this. They want to feel cared for. So, price is definitely a consideration, but quality of care definitely is number one. Let's go into that now. Speaking of which, common mistakes to avoid. Don't compete on price alone, focus on quality, safety, and experience. Let me read that again. Don't compete on price alone. Focus on quality, safety, and experience. Now, this is a common pitfall. competing only for price. In fact, being too cheap can make Americans suspicious. Focus on your unique value, your expertise, safety record, and patient support. Alex, can you remind us what's a good way to communicate value beyond price? Let's see what Alex's feedback is going to be. Because this is a question that we get asked a lot. Because Americans are bargain shopping. Let's say if they are wanting to get a rhinoplasty, they are shopping around to try to get the best value, but they don't want to compromise on level of care. That's definitely something to consider. Okay, Alex has responded. Highlight unique services, aftercare, and your team's credentials. Americans want the full story, not just the deal. Definitely. They want quality care. Okay, let's move on to some quick action steps. Okay, so now here are some things that I need you to get started with this week. Audit your website for trust signals. Go back and make sure you've got those trust signals already on your website. Collect and translate testimonials. If your testimonials are not in English, translate them to English. And respond quickly to U.S. inquiries. Do not wait. Americans want quick responses to the questions that they have. That is very important. Now, Maria, I remember you were asking about patient safety checklist. Alex, can you make sure that you please drop the link to that? Now, a lot of these things that we're mentioning are in the first course that we did, as well as this newest course on attracting American patients. So for those of you guys who have not checked out that course, as you know, on the Udemy website, you get the first video. You can preview the first video, and that's module one because there are 6 modules total. It is jam packed with so much good information on how to attract the American patient. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Alex just noted that he posted the link once again to the checklist, which covers certifications, safety protocols, communication tips, and insurance options. Always adapt to your local regulations. Keep that in mind. Your governing bodies, your local regulations supersede any and everything that we say here in this video. Remember, all the information in this video is all for information purposes only. You saw the disclaimer at the beginning of the webinar that we're doing, but also make sure that you are following the guidelines set forth in your country. Very important to do. Okay, let's move on. Downloadable resource, patient safety checklist. Okay, so now don't forget to grab your free patient safety checklist. The link will be in the description. Alex is going to go ahead and post the link in the chat. For those of you guys who are watching this over on YouTube or Facebook, you're not watching it live, you're watching the replay, check the link in the description under the video, and there you should be able to access this free patient safety checklist. Now, this resource has helped dozens of our partner clinics earn American patients' trust. This is important. Just some simple information that you want to make sure that you include when you are marketing to American patients. Okay, feedback on the checklist is fantastic. People are saying it's already making a difference in their presentation. Okay, thank you, Sam. That's good to know. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Now let's open up for our Q&A session. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask. Again, this was just a brief webinar. We're going to do a series of these. So for those of you guys who are familiar with MedExplorers, you know from time to time we do offer these free resources. Now that we have added our second course, How to Attract American Patients, we want to be more specific to attracting American patients because, as we mentioned earlier, Americans are spending billions of dollars on medical tourism. Okay, any questions? Okay, here we go. Ahmed asks, how do we handle language barriers? Okay, now my advice, Ahmed, would be always highlight your English speaking staff. If you don't have an English speaking staff member, it's important that you get one. Even if you just have someone part time who speaks English, that person can make a great liaison for communication between you and the American patient and offer translation support. There are multiple apps that you can use to help translate and make sure you reply quickly. Americans appreciate clarity and speed. Okay, Dr. Lee asked for an example of a patient's story. Alex, do you have our template that we have a template, Dr. Lee, that you can use? Just simple templates such as the patient's name, which country the person comes from, which procedure they're interested in, and then a testimonial quote. And then you can explain how you supported them from first call to follow up. Just make sure it's written in English. Just, we want to make sure that you mention where they're from. You don't have to use their real name. Definitely don't use the first and last name. And you need to ask for their permission in order to publish it. And don't use any photos. Don't use any photos of the patient. That is important, especially with the guidelines that we have here in the US. Okay, any other questions before we wrap up? Okay, we're right at a little after 20 minutes. This was perfect. Now, before we wrap up completely, MedExplore is bigger than ever now. We are working with clinics and providers across 5 continents. Our network is growing fast, and we're continuing to offer those virtual tours for clinics who want advice on how to attract more American patients, different cosmetic changes that they can make, different packages that they can offer to attract American patients. And we're going to start traveling. We are going to start traveling because the virtual tour is great, but there are some providers out there who are inviting us to actually come in person and tour their facility. So that's an option as well. If you're interested in learning more about that service, feel free to reach out to us. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Sam or Alex, do you guys see any other questions in the chat? Again, didn't want to take too much of your time. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. This is just the beginning. Our next session will go deeper into building trust and communication. So join us next time because we're going to continue this series. And don't forget, our 4 courses, both of them are available now. The details on how to access the course is in the description. And thank you for those of you guys who joined us live, and also for those of you guys who are watching the replay. Thank you in your native language. Have a great week.